Good day, beautiful people. It's Empress Ruth. Back again. Thank you for liking, subscribing. Please always leave your comments and your feedback. Just out here, just got through doing a run on the lake and sitting up here meditating and get so much wonderful inspiration just sitting out meditating. So much comes to me and my mind is flooded with so much, and I was like, oh, pull your phone out, start recording. And I was just thinking about how we live and where we're at currently in this day and age in regards to modern technology. And we have become so accustomed to our way of living, and it's comfortable, but it could be even better than it currently is if we can learn how to let go of some things. It's just really time to do things differently. It's really time to do things differently. I was listening to Molly McCord. She's an astrologer, an intuitive astrologer. Really great podcast. Discovered her recently. And also another good astrologer, Sister Myra. She's on point. But I was listening to Molly McCord, and she was also bringing up the fact of, the Piscean age, and in most recent times, it's like when the Industrial Revolution really started and the factories were born, and then the schedule of 9 to 5 kicked in, and working 8-hour shifts here in the day and 8-hour shifts at night. And it just really changed the way we lived and how we operated. And it was an improvement from rural life, and people were able to have homes, and suburbia was started, and the families. It was a good thing, and it still is a good thing in certain aspects, but we've gotten so comfortable with the 9 to 5. But in this time that we're in right now in 2019, we are so overwhelmed, and we're inundated with the things of life constantly, and you don't have any time for yourself. People are stressed out. They get up, they go to work, they stay at work all 8 hours or more, come home, try and get something to eat, and it's exhausting. And there's never really any time to reflect, to relax, because you're back at it again. And we must have structure. Structure is good. It's always good to have structure, but it's always good to have a balance in that. You have to have a balance. You can't just be so, and people say, well, I have balance, I get up and go to work, and then when I'm off, I have my playtime. But it's not a balanced thing. If you're doing 40 hours a week at work, and that's just a minimum for some people. There's a lot of people get off work now and they're Ubering to supplement their income, or they're doing something additional. So there's no balance in that, and it is time for balance in everything that we do. It's time for balance in work. It's time for balance and play. It's just time to balance out the scales. I remember I was younger, and they used to always show the scales of justice. And I said, I don't know if they changed it. I would really have to pull it up now. But I remember when I was younger, they would always show the scales of justice, and they were always unbalanced. It was always unequal. And I was like, they're telling you right there that the system is unbalanced and it's unfair. And that is reflected throughout society, not just the legal system. Everything is unbalanced. And this is a time of Mayat. And Mayat is about universal balance and structure and understanding. And we have to get back to ancient divine knowledge, ancient wisdom. I was thinking about the grandmothers, and the grandmothers in Indian cultures were highly regarded, and they always dealt with the children. And the children are cared for properly because grandmother had the temperament, the wisdom, the knowledge, and the patience to deal with the children. And normally, if you're raised by your grandmother, you have some really solid people. I know a lot of people that were raised by their grandmother, and they're pretty solid, you know. And we can look at that reflected today in a lot of urban communities. And the grandmother, again, is raising a lot of the children. And it's not a bad thing. We just have to start looking at things from a different perspective. And I know there are certain circumstances where grandmother was always raising the children and how that came about in certain communities. But it's not always a bad thing. It's like, you know, you got to take lemons and you got to make lemonade. That's with everything in life. If it's sour, add some sugar or some honey to it. It'll be okay. Balance it out. So that's my message for today. Just be balanced in what you do. Try and find time for the things that are important to you, that are important for your soul's growth and your soul's development. And it's not about reaching the destination. It's about enjoying the journey. And sometimes that's hard because, again, we stress out in this system and this culture that was created about, you know, how we gonna make ends meet. You got all these stresses, but balance it out. Balance it out. Find the time. Find the time for yourself, for your soul. Even if it's 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes sitting in quiet contemplation, 5 minutes of meditating, 5 minutes of trying to quiet your mind. You know, listen to some soothing, music, or find some soothing meditation music for yourself. Just shut yourself off, because when you can go within, you'll find a way, because you already have all the answers that you need. But you have to quiet yourself in order to hear them. Find time for you. You are the most important thing that you got, is you. Find time for you. All right, guys, take care.